All right, good morning. Let's see you all jumping on. Let's get started. Welcome. Friday team call. We've got I got a couple messages. We got a couple people running behind, but they will be jumping on. But we are not going to wait around. We are going to go ahead and get going this morning. So glad to see all of you on with us this morning. All right, let's hit. If I can get organized here, let's hit some leaderboards. Yeah, we had on the week so far. Now, this is leaderboards as of this morning, 9 a.m. Central is typically when I pull that. So we've got until midnight Eastern. So for those of you who are still writing business, that business can still be turned in until midnight Eastern to count for the week, also to count for the month as far as submit goes. Midnight Eastern is the end of the month for submit. However, do you want to make a note that we have Monday? Monday is the cutoff for issue paid. And issue paid is what all of our promotions currently run off of. So you still have until Monday. So anything that you write today, if you can get that through today, get that issue by Monday, it will still count for the month of January. Obviously, you want to be kind of pushing business towards instant decision or companies that are at least going to take a look at it fairly quickly. So, all right, guys, so far for the week in Base Shop Dinwiddie Agencies, we have, I wrote a couple applications for $670 APV. Cindy Hall had one application, $826, direct to Donna. We have Donna Bates at two applications, $1,749, direct to Spencer. Stacy Love had two applications, $2,104, direct to Donna. Terry Myers, five applications, $2,516, direct to Stella. We had Stella, four applications, $5,690, direct to myself. Number one, we had Mr. Spencer Cushion, six applications, $7,799, direct to myself. That's for the week. Let's take a look at the month. We've had a solid month so far. In fact, we've just really a very, very good month. We've had 42 riders as a hierarchy. That's an awesome number to see. In fact, I think I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure that's a new high water mark on number of riders. But we're going to hit the top 10 for the month to date. And again, keep in mind we have until midnight Eastern for these numbers to go up. But as of right now, we have Stacy Love, 15 applications, $8,815, direct to Donna. Joanna Doibin, 8 applications, $9,938, direct to Lionel Anderson. Donna Bates, 11 applications, $10,157, direct to Spencer. Lionel Anderson, 18 applications, $10,941, direct to John Paul. Adam Patterson, 11 applications, $11,070, direct to Joanna Doibin. Derek McPherson, 8 applications, $12,996, direct to John Paul Vetter. Natalia Hermit, 17 applications, $14,896, direct to Eric Sullivan. Spencer Cushion, number 3 for the month, 17 applications, $19,691, direct to myself. Stella Dinwiddie, 23 applications. Looks like Stella's got it on app count right now. So $20,813, direct to myself. Number 1, though, is, and actually, I talked to Stella about this. She's only $200 behind Miss Jenny Gray for the month. 20 applications Jenny has for $21,027 direct to John Paul. But again, 21,000 versus 20,800. So $200 separate her and Stella. And Stella, maybe, in fact, that's the reason why she's running late. She had an early morning appointment and texted me that she probably will be wrapping that up as she's jumping on. So maybe she will be able to push that over the line, take the lead from Miss Jenny Gray. Of course, I'm sure Jenny is pumping more business in today too. So everybody's going to have to be on their game. All right. Guys, let's. I want to do a quick recap because I was watching the Mank Awards last night, blown away with the number of you that were on the leaderboards for the Mank hierarchy. And so, for those of you who are new, Scott Mank is my mentor who brought me into the business. So he, besides our organization, has what is it now? Three or no, it's two. Well, no, it would be two other organizations. Total of 8 agency owners in his hierarchy. And I forgot to ask him how many writers he's running total right now, but he's got a very, very sizable organization. But the reason I highlight that is several of your names on the screen with us right now, and then several from the Vetter agency were all over that leaderboard. So I was very, very pleased to see that. Obviously, very proud of you all. And so I'm going to do a quick recap of that because again, you guys don't get that highlight enough. So for 10K week, we had Stella Dinwiddie has done that 4 times in 2021. Donna, Stacy, and Terry all were 10K riders in 2021. So congratulations. Rookie producer, the number 3 overall in the Mank hierarchy was Stacy Love. And number 2 in app count. So great job, Stacy. Great first year. Got off to a rocking start. Top 10 riders in the Mank hierarchy. Donna Bates came in at number 10 overall. Spencer Cushion came in number 8 overall. Stella Dinwiddie came in number 5 overall. And on app counts, we had number 10, Stacy. Stacy Love had was number 10 overall app count. Donna was number 8. Terry was number 4. And Stella was number 3. So great job protecting a lot of families. This is the one that, guys, I was and I'm so glad that Scott did this recognition, and this is the top issue paid in his entire hierarchy. So the numbers that we read out on leaderboards every Friday, and when we get on the Mank call once a month, and any of those other calls, even the national calls, those are all submit numbers. It's business that's been written, but not all of it necessarily has been issue paid. And so and that's a big metric to track in this business. So as you're writing business, pay close attention to that, guys. And obviously, we've got some folks that are paying pretty good attention to that, because I was very pleased to see that 3 of our people took the top 3 spots in the entire Mank hierarchy for issue paid percentage. They were number 3, Donna, number 2, Stella, and number 1, Spencer. For issue paid. That is, guys, to me, that's one of the best accomplishments in in this business. It's one thing to go out and get applications filled out, and I think, in fact, I know for a fact there are people that have come through the business in the past that have gotten a lot of applications, but not gotten many of those put through. And so that's huge, and I'm very, very excited, very proud of all you for hitting those numbers on the issue paid. Top annuity writer for the entire Mank hierarchy was actually Greg Ace, part of Stella's team, and I know with the background and especially to that, so it was awesome to see that. We had Stella, number 3, base shop for agency owners. And then on issue paid, again, this was another metric that I'm glad Scott highlighted. Issue paid as a base shop. We had the Menefee agency came in at number 3 overall, and the Dinwiddie agency came in at number 2 overall. And again, guys, to me, that metric says more about what you guys do in helping families than any other number that we can that we can touch on. Obviously, we've got to get the apps written and get in the pipeline, but the fact that you're following through, getting your business issued, and getting families protected, that's awesome. And then last but not least, the Fired Up Award. We had our very own Miss Stella and John Paul Vetter with the recipients of the Fired Up Award, and I'd say deservedly so. As you can see, the activity of Stella on crew and being a support for all of us, having her dial room open for any and all who want to jump in and learn and be part of that process and be part of that community. And then obviously John Paul Vetter. For those of you who have not seen him yet, go back and watch some of the national calls. He's done some of those recently. And we're actually, just a quick announcement on let me get my dates right here. Look at the calendar here. So on the 11th, I've talked with John Paul. We're actually going to have a hierarchy-wide meeting. So we're going to get back together with the Vetter agency, have everybody on one call, and just kind of do a quick reunion call. So that we'll get details out on that. But February the 11th, we'll get everybody back together. And it'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time to get everybody on. And they've got a fast-growing agency, so our numbers will be huge that day. All right, guys. So my thoughts for today. A couple of things that wanted to touch on. Hang on a second. I'm pulling up my notes on my phone, so bear with me. Should have already had that popped open. But yeah. So wanted to, and again, just looking at these numbers from not only the award show from 2021, but also what we've done so far for the month as an agency, and several of you on the call with us right now in those top tiers. And for those of you who are just coming on or getting your business up and going, I mean, the things that we've got coming down the pipeline for 2022, both on a broad level, for the national company, some of the things that they're rolling out, that will just increase your profitability, increase your opportunity to help clients. We've already seen it with, things like the Quality RX. Shout out to Sydney Lee, who got a notice on the national call for Quality RX last week. And you can see on her post, she is being very intentional about putting that program out there. And that's awesome to see. But guys, for 2022, and this is not going to be a long call, to be honest with you. I've got some things that I'm working on for the agency, some things that we're going to really start digging into in weeks to come, some metrics that we're going to start adding to what we're tracking as far as our leaderboards. Because as Jacob says, if you can't improve it until you measure it. And so, there are things that we're going to be doing. And so part of that is I want each and every one of you, as we, coming up on the end of our first month of 2022, kind of already, well into the swing of things, but there's never it's never too late to get that new year start. And I know a lot of people started the new year with big goals, and typically what happens is everybody makes their New Year's resolutions or New Year's revolutions, whatever you want to call it, and they January 1, I'm going to hit the ground, I'm going to do it. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be amazing. 2022 is going to rock, and by January 30th, the steam is gone. The air is out of the balloon. It's gliding back down to earth. And the thing that's missed so many times in success and high level performance is the simple consistency factor. that success comes not from an overnight flash. So, a lot of times in success, it's easy to look at, it's easy to look at somebody who seemed to have a meteoric rise to the top of whatever their profession, to their, to sports, to whatever. They kind of went from nobody to the top of the heap. But most cases, now, does it happen from, yeah, sometimes you'll get somebody that just happens to be dumb luck and they were the right place at the right time. Most times, though, if you go look at the progression of their career, their discipline, it was a pretty slow, flat line over an extended period of time. But it was somebody that continued doing the same thing over and over again until finally, whatever you want to call it, the stars align, their experience level caught up with their plans, their desires, and things took off. And so, I encourage you, as we're roughly 30-ish days into the new year, and you had dreams and visions at the beginning of the year, don't lose sight of those. Understand that it's going to take all of 2022, every single day, to achieve those. So if you're not there at the end of January, don't panic. Don't hit the eject button. Double down, dig in. A lot of times we reference, and this is a great time to go back to this if you're looking at your goals and kind of questioning where you're at. The Slight Edge. I love that book, The Slight Edge. That is a great book for somebody to reset and recalibrate your mindset around success, around what it takes to win. And so, it's the same thing on, I know I've had conversations with several of you kind of at the beginning of the year and where we want to go and what we want to accomplish in 2022. And for a lot of you, that's building an agency. Taking this thing to build something outside of sales. Now, obviously, you can do very well in sales here. You can make a lot of money in sales. And for some people, that's as far as they want to take it, and that's great. I mean, this system is built, choose your own path. But for those who want to build an agency, nothing is more applicable to that process than the Slight Edge. Because it takes a lot of very small, repeated decisions and activities over a long period of time to get to where a Scott Mankiz, a Jacob Pogue, a Marshall Whalen. And it's going to seem like it's taking forever. Because it does seem like it takes forever. Trust me, I can speak to that. What's interesting though, in the grand scheme of things, I sometimes I have to stop and look at where Marshall Whalen is, and I forget what the number was. They mentioned it on the last call. His equity bonus was somewhere around 120,000 for the month. So 120,000, his bonus. Now that doesn't include any other revenues from his agency, from his overrides. His bonus was 120,000 for 1 month. And Marshall's been here since the early days of the company. So I would say 10, 11 years right now. I have to ask him exactly what that number is, but I would say around 10 or 11 years. So on two sides, yeah, that's 10 years. That's a pretty good chunk of time. But also to build a business that's kicking off $120,000 a month just on the bonus side, not including the revenue side. That's, probably, let's see, what's Marshall doing, $1 million a month. So probably another $100 to $200,000 a month just in general business revenue. So a business that's doing $200,000 to $300,000, or excuse me, $2 to $3 million a year, and to be able to build that in 10 years, So, and the only reason I'm trying to, and I hope, I feel like maybe I'm not communicating this well this morning, but I want you to understand is this business, yes, it's slow, yes, takes time, but in the grand scheme of things, where else can you go that you can build a business, even just get the agency owner? I've done a lot of work here lately with Jerry Choate, and we've done some joint interviews, doing a trial on a program for recruiting, and interviewing some groups of candidates. And Jerry brings up a great point. When he looked at this business and he saw what an agency owner was. So an agency owner is somebody's, their business is probably spending around $50,000 a month with 6 or 7 riders, and doing that consistently on a monthly basis. But if you look at a business submitting around $50,000 a month, that also should be equal roughly, and it's not exact numbers, but it's going to be pretty close to about what they're going to earn in revenue on an annual basis. So an agency owner doing $50,000 a month to submit probably has got about $50,000 passive. That's outside of their own activities, their own, business that they write, but $50,000 a year passive income. And Jerry brings up a great point. He says to get $50,000 a year of passive income. So in other words, income that you don't have to do anything, it just comes in. And when I say do anything, I mean, in other words, you're not directly involved in the activities that make that happen. Obviously, you have to do a lot to get to that point. But my point is, from a passive income standpoint, you would have to put aside in the bank, roughly right now, with fixed rates being as low as they are, $2 to $2.5 million that you would have to put in and lock up in some pretty long-term products for it to kick out 2 to 2.5%. So $2 to $2.5 million that you would have to have already started. That would have to be your nest egg. That would have to be your pile that you put aside into something fixed rate that's going to kick off $50,000 a year in passive income. Guys, you could do that with this business by finding 6 or 7 people to run with you and writing $50,000 a year as a collective, as a group. Now, if your group, as you have 6 or 7 agents, is doing that 50,000, and you're doing your own production on top of that. I mean, obviously, you can kind of see where those, where your profit margin and where your earnings go up there. But if you've got an agency doing $50,000 a month, should be doing $50,000 a year, you can't replicate that out in the market. That's what we've got here, is such a powerful tool. And so to get to that point, obviously takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. Quite frankly, it takes a lot of investment, not just on the time side, but on the financial side. Because I already told you, to get a passive income through investment, you got to have about 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 million setting aside. Well, how do you get that? Well, you got to build it up. You got to put a lot of money aside to get that kind of money to start returning. Well, you invest a little bit in this business through some recruiting, running some ads. And I'm not going to talk this morning about those platforms. There's a lot of platforms out there. Reach out to me if you want to talk about some of the specifics. In fact, I just had a conversation with Jacob yesterday, just kind of talking through this process and kind of where the hot spots are from a recruiting standpoint. But they all work to some degree or another if you will work them. If you'll take the time, have the patience, be consistent, and just continue working them. And that means we can't work them, try something, try for 30 days, try for a month, try for 2 months, say, well, this doesn't work. I've got to pitch it. I have yet to see a recruiting platform or recruiting program that you don't have to do it minimum 6 months before you can really determine if it's effective or not, because it just takes time. Same thing on the, so to speak briefly to the builder side, or excuse me, to the production side. If you're here and you're not interested in building an agency, but on the production side, you just got to know what you want and work backwards from there. And that's the thing about I love this about this business is that's very consistent. Our numbers are very consistent. So I know if you want to, if you want $3,000 in earnings, you got to be writing about 5,000 in submit. If you're going to be writing 5,000 submit, that means you got to be writing about 5 applications. If you're going to write 5 applications, that means you're probably going to be sitting in front of about 10 people. Well, to get in front of 10 people, I've got to be scheduling about 15 to 20 due to no shows, cancellations, etc. Well, to get to 15 to 20, that means I probably need to be talking about, depending on how good you are on the phone, 25 to 40 people. Well, to talk to 25 to 40 people, that means I've got to have the resources to talk to that many people. Whether that be leads or personal contacts, if you're working more market, either way, you're going to be investing some time into, generating referrals, generating your own leads. And I encourage everybody to do that, or buying leads. But you've got to know what, and know exactly what you want, and then work it backwards from there to understand what you've got to put in. Same thing on the building side. We're going back over there to, the company tells us, I'm not going to break down all the metrics, but for you to be having explosive growth, you need to be turning in 20 hiring packets a month. Basically 5 a week. How do we get to 5 a week? Well, again, we've got to work the numbers backwards. Okay. So now that's, again, kind of a high level conversation. I encourage you to sit down with your mentor, figure out where you want to go in 2022 and what is the exact roadmap to get there. This business is very, very predictable. We can plug the numbers in. Now it's easier said than done. I think this is a business where that really applies. It's much easier to say it out loud than to go out and try to do it. But we can tell you how to do it. If you're willing to roll up your sleeves and put in the work and the time and do that consistently. So guys, that's just kind of some thoughts this morning. I encourage you, as we move forward, we're working on some stuff, and we're gonna have some special guests coming in on our Friday calls. We're gonna be working hard to bring extra value to you in 2022. To not just talk about these high-level concepts, but to start digging into the nuances. Bringing people on that are having high-level success on the sales side, bringing people on the recruiting side, on the management side, on the mentoring side, on the training side, all those things we're going to be digging into and trying to bring real value. So next week, obviously get yourself here, get as many people as you can here, get here early. For those of you who don't know, we play music for the first 4 minutes before the call starts. So if you don't have to get on at the top of the hour. You can actually show up a little bit early, party a little bit, have some fun, and then we get the meeting kicked off at the top of the hour. But appreciate all of you, every one of you, as I looked at those awards show numbers and the names last night. Just blown away. So proud of everybody here, and man, just so very, very grateful. So guys, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go out, finish the month strong, get ready for February, and keep pushing ahead into 2022. Thank you all.